All right, welcome to Audi Nos podcast. My name is Taylor, and
I'm Jen. Hi.
Where are you from, Jen?
I'm from the UK, as you can probably tell.
I am from Seattle. We do have two more hosts that are not here at the moment, but they will be joining us for episode 2, so we're going to make episode 1 a little bit shorter since they're not here to join us for this episode. And the reason we're starting this podcast is we really want to kind of have thoughtful, in-depth discussion about Supernatural, and it has such rich history and lore and everything like that, that there's not really a podcast out right now that kind of discusses those kind of aspects of the show, so we really wanted to discuss those things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shipping ones, but there's nothing really to do with lore, is there?
No. And not really, there's not a whole lot to do with the show in general. So we really wanted to make a podcast to do with all aspects of the show.
Yeah.
And we also wanted to be kind of a reliable news source for everybody. And our Tumblr that will serve as where we post our episodes will also be posting fandom news and show news and everything like that. And we also wanted to kind of make a venue for people to be able to submit theories or to call us or have somewhere where they can see their theories about the show discussed.
Yeah.
And our Tumblr is going to be Audi Nos podcast. We're going to publish our episodes there every 2 weeks on our YouTube channel until we get kind of up and going, and then we may move over to iTunes later on. But for right now, that's where we're going to be, is on the Tumblr. And the best way to contact us is via the Ask on our Tumblr. And this podcast is not spoiler-free, so it will contain spoilers for the first 2 episodes, because we are going to talk about the first 2 episodes, and rumored spoilers for future episodes. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I do not advise you listen.
But do so anyway, because we're wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to move into our next segment, which is fandom news. This is our fandom news segment of the podcast. Would you like to take the first story? Or segment?
You can if you want.
Okay.
You should take all the things that you've put up there, and all the things that I've put up there.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm going to be talking for a while then.
Well, I did put a few on there.
Yeah. Alright, so there was a new story that came out with ScreenFad where Jared and Jensen talked a lot about what's coming up for this season, and a lot of it is kind of stuff we've heard over and over. I mean, Jared talked about, the relationship between Sam and Ezekiel, and the fact that obviously there's now even more secrets between the brothers, and Jensen talked a lot about how Dean's kind of going to have to be emotionally isolated this season because Sam's got stuff going on with Ezekiel, and Cass is doing his thing, being human. So Jensen, Dean, doesn't really have someone to lean on this season,
which is probably a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, because Dean hasn't really had anyone. He hasn't really had a moment where he's been on his own, except for right at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Which is ages ago. It's a good few years ago, and Dean really does need to learn how to stand on his own 2 feet without his brother or Cass around.
While I know that everybody wants Sam back, I can see where people are starting to see a little bit too much codependency.
Yeah, we're getting tired of that now. But then again, it's sort of the whole fabric of the show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you can't have Supernatural without Sam and Dean, but there comes
a little less
There comes a point where you've saved the other person from death a couple too many times.
Yeah, you need to let them go. You have a ex-angel there. He's around.
Yeah, I think the and we're going to talk about this more a little bit later with the episode reaction, but especially in the preview that we saw coming up for 903.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how the relationship between Sam and Ezekiel develops, because as you see in the promo, he literally cuts Sam off in the middle of what he's talking and just like
was amazing.
Takes over. And I'm saying, like, is he going to wipe Sam's memory? Like, how is Sam not going to remember, like, spacing out for that long?
Yeah, we'll see that. We'll see about that one. I'm not sure how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Could be interesting, though.
And then they talked a little bit about kind of Cass having to take the being human journey on his own. And at first I was kind of upset about that he literally arrives at the bunker and Dean's like, no, you gotta leave. After thinking about it longer, though, I kind of understand it a little bit more in the sense that he's got a bright, shining beacon on him, and he's going to attract every angel within 100 miles to their area, and they can't ward against angels on the bunker with Ezekiel and Sam. And so I kind of see that, and also if Cass is on his own, then he can kind of hole up somewhere and do some angel warding and be safe, because he doesn't have to worry about Ezekiel. So I at first I was kind of upset, but now I kind of understand it would be better for right now if they weren't together.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why Ezekiel is all doing the whole kick Cass out thing, because he has his own health to worry about as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Sam that he's healing himself through Sam's soul. So
yeah.
He has his own ass to keep clear.
Yeah. Do you think, and we'll talk about this more later too, but when we saw the wings in 902, do you think that's something that will, I mean, he obviously still has some semblance of wings that will ever heal, or is it just kind of that's what's left of what burned off?
I think Zeke may be the only one with wings left.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, because if you think about it, all the other angels seemed really healthy, even without their wings.
Yeah.
And we saw them on that one angel. They came off. They were amputated. They were gone.
Yeah.
They burnt up in the atmosphere. But Zeke, he showed up injured, wounded.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he still has his wings. So I'm just like thinking, this is the difference between these angels. Zeke is different because he still has his wings.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Meaning he might be the one. He might be the one to get back into heaven.
That's true. We'll discuss that more in the episode reaction.
Yeah.
For now, we should keep going with news. Do you want to get the next one?
Yes, I do. Which one is it?
The TV Guide one.
I don't know what that one is. You put that up there.
Oh.
I think you did.
Yeah, it's basically talking about kind of about the same things as the first one, but it also talks about which characters we can expect to see back this season. So we've already confirmed that Charlie's back. Charlie's going to be back in the Wizard of Oz episode.
Yeah, and Sheriff Mills is alive.
Yes.
And
thankfully.
The Ghostfacers.
Yes. It's rumored to be back.
Yeah, but there's been no confirmation from the writers yet.
No.
From what I've seen. It's just various tweets from the actors themselves.
Yes.
Which is cool, and at this moment we can safely assume that they may possibly be coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be safe to start hoping for it. Because I don't believe that the actors would say something until there was some kind of groundwork laid.
Yeah.
Well, it's not confirmed.
There was that one time with Jake Abel.
Yeah.
Where they went to him with an episode idea, but kind of dropped it, and he didn't say a damn thing until a convention.
That's true.
So, yeah, they've probably been talked to.
Yes. And then Curtis is going,
Yay, Curtis!
We actually did last couple days see the promotional pictures of him talking with Sam for episode 6.
That was kind of unmistakable. That one, it was definitely Curtis.
Yeah, that was nobody else looks like that.
Nobody else looks like a slimy little meatball.
which is definitely interesting. Like seeing, we could probably assume that he's probably talking to Ezekiel. But
yeah, the stance Jared had was very Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Thing, wasn't it? So yeah, we can assume it was Zeke,
which is interesting, and plays a little bit into because everyone's thinking Ezekiel's a little bit too good to be true.
I'm hoping he's not. I'm hoping he's really nice.
I hope so too. But this kind of made me even more suspicious. I'm like, why, if you're good, are you talking to Metatron?
I'm thinking my original idea of Zeke being the only angel to be able to get back into heaven because of his wings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Metatron might know that.
Yeah.
Because angels can see each other's wings, can't they?
I think so.
Because that one Nephilim said she could see the halos.
That's true.
So
true.
I'm guessing other angels can see each other's wings, so Metatron might know that Zeke would be able to get back into heaven eventually.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, see, I'm smart.
Yes. Alright, and then why don't you take... We do have episode titles up through the 12th episode. Why don't you go ahead and announce those?
Episode 3, as everyone knows, will be titled I'm No Angel, which has caused a stir.
Yes.
That one, interesting amount of backlash from that one.
Yes.
904 will be titled Slumber Party,
and that's our Wizard of Oz episode.
Yes, it is, where we have a real-life Dorothy.
Yes.
And Bunker Garage.
Yes.
Baby finally has a place to sleep.
Wait, is that how you say garage?
Garage.
Well, for those of us who are American, she's trying to say garage.
I'm from the UK.
That took me a second. I'm like, wait, what?
I can say garage if you want.
No, it's okay.
905 has been titled Doggy Style. I think that was edited at some point. I don't know, because someone said the title had been changed, but since then I think it's been changed back.
I don't know, but this is going to be the one where Dean talks to dogs. I'm going to feel it's safe to assume that.
Yeah, because there has been a German Shepherd spotted on set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, yay, German Shepherd!
What do you think this is all going to entail? Is he's just going to talk to dogs? Is he going to become a dog?
Know. Apparently it's a real Dr. Dolittle sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just going to be the dog.
Yeah.
He's probably been cursed or something.
I feel like this is going to be like a French Mistake style episode where everything's just so crazy. It's going to be one of those episodes that everyone's like, did that really happen?
Yeah. And yes, it did really happen. It's going to give us a whole new set of gifts, isn't it?
Yes.
And yes, I pronounce it GIF.
GIF.
GIF is how it's pronounced.
Yes.
Screw what they say, it's GIF.
Yes.
Okay, episode 6 is titled Heaven Can't Wait.
And that's where we saw the pictures of Sam talking to Metatron.
Yes, it was.
Or Ezekiel. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
So we know at some point during that episode, Zeke is going to talk to Metatron.
Yes, we do know that. That's about as most as we know for episodes at the moment.
Yeah.
But the titles go on. Episode 7 will be called Bad Boys.
I don't think we know anything about that one yet.
We don't. No. That could be anything.
Yeah.
We'll see more as that goes on.
I hope they utilize the song in that episode.
So do I. I hope we get some fan service with that one.
Yeah.
If we don't, it will be a terrible thing.
Yes.
Episode 8 has been titled "Rock and a Hard Place."
Good to know.
Yeah. Do we know anything about that one?
I have not heard anything about that one.
Me neither. Episode 9 has been titled "Holy Terror."
We have heard a little bit about this one. This is
We have
where we have heard about Matt. I'm gonna assume it's pronounced Malachi.
I'm pronouncing it Malachi.
Okay, Malachi.
I don't know whether I'm right. I'm just pronouncing it Malachi.
Yeah.
But from what he seems like another Uriel.
Yeah. And I honestly would like to do a lore segment on him, because there was an actual prophet named Malachi. He wrote like one of the last books in the Old Testament, and he had all of these ideas about, God and justice and everything like that. So I'd be interested to do a lore segment on him before we see him, to see how much we can deduce about him before we actually see him in the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's a male.
Yeah,
I guess that could be a feminine name, but I'm going to assume that it's
considering it's supernatural, we can assume it's a male.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, he's been said to have been amassing an army, and basically killing everyone that doesn't join him.
Yeah.
Which is definitely another Uriel, so I'm curious about that one.
Yeah.
But we've got Abaddon, who is also amassing an army. From what we've seen in the previous episode. So can we assume that there's going to be some kind of war at some point?
Yes. I think that's a fairly safe
assumption. A war on Earth between heaven and hell. That's going to suck. Let's hope the Winchesters stop that one.
Yes.
Alright, that's it on that one. Moving on. We've got episode 10 titled Road Trip.
Woo! I don't know anything about that episode. It just sounds like fun. Sounds like
a lot of time in the Impala.
What?
I think I know what Bad Boys is about.
What?
I think that's the one where Cass comes back into it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Cass is back in that one.
I think that's what I heard as well. Okay.
Yeah, Dean goes, "Yep, we got to get him back."
Yep.
Alright, so moving on to Road Trip. So what would that one be about? Any idea?
No. Oh, going back to I want to say it was like 906 or 907. We saw the pictures of them shooting with Jensen and Misha in the Impala. When they visit and brought back a whole bunch of pictures, and it was Jensen and Misha where he's got the unbuttoned white shirt on.
Yeah, your mic cut out there.
Oh, sorry. There's a collection of pictures that I believe are 907 or 906.
I think that's 907.
Okay, where Jensen and Misha were shooting in the Impala, and
which caused another stir in the Destiel fandom.
Yeah. There were interpretations of what was going on, but there's no confirmed kind of this is definitely what was happening. So
there was a lot of hullabaloo about the arm over the shoulder.
Yeah. Because I remember someone mentioning that there was this anonymous person on the ESPN gossip board that had predicted most of the show and had started saying what that was, but because it's ESPN gossip, I'm disenfranchised to believe it. So
ignore them.
Yeah, for the time being, we know that they shot a scene together in the Impala, and Cass was wearing a white shirt, and that's about all we know.
Yes. And they were talking about something.
Yes, and they were talking.
But who knows what?
Who knows what? We'll find
Alright then.
Yes.
Well, episode 11 has been titled Firstborn. We can safely assume this is about Dean, can't we?
I feel like this is going to be the episode where we find out this big secret that we're supposed to find out from Dean's childhood. I feel like it's probably this episode.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get some serious emotional crap coming here. I can just tell.
I feel like we should mention 909. So Holy Terror is going to be the last episode for this year. So that's the episode where they said that there was something big going on. So it probably has to do with the introduction of Malachi. Something big happening.
Isn't this the one where it introduces the thing that could go into the spin-off?
I think that's 20. I don't think that happens until 20.
Oh, when did that?
Or 20 or 21 or whatever is the episode. I think that's supposed to lead into a possible spinoff. The Chicago spinoff. But yeah, 909 is going to be the last episode for the year before the hiatus, and then 910 we'll see back again in January. So 910 is our kind of mid-season finale, which something big is going down in 909.
Oh no! And we can tell it's the war.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of a war.
Yeah. And then our last episode that we have a name for
is Sharp Teeth.
Yes. 912.
Which is interesting. Possibly a vampire.
Yes. Benny.
Maybe. It might be Benny. Shh. But yeah, I am really excited about 9/11 though.
Yeah. I really want to see more about Dean's past.
So do I. We hear so little about it. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation as to what this might be. I mean, there's many people hoping for a traumatic, maybe prostitution sort of thing going on.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know, like to get money and stuff like that. Yeah. There's been many people that are hoping it's, we're finally going to learn that Dean's bisexual. There's a lot of people hoping for a sexuality thing going on here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be a little bit disappointed.
I don't know what because they said that it ties all the way back to, I mean, episode 1, that it's something that, like, that has been in Dean's character for a while. So I'm interested to see what it will be. I've heard a couple of theories that I like, but I don't know.
The ideas of the sexuality thing, going back to that, it has always been in his character, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
It has always been there. If you look through it, it's always been there. I mean, some people might gift the wrong moments and try and make it look like something it's not.
Yeah.
But if you really watch the show, that's always been there. Always.
Yeah, there have definitely been moments in the show where you went,
Really, Dean? Really?
Really. I saw an interesting post about this the other day, that when, and I wish I had the post in front of me so that I could reference exactly what it was, but in the episode where he starts hallucinating everything and everything's worse and it's the end of the world, the episode where he did Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
Yellow Fever.
Yellow Fever.
Yeah, when he does the, you're awesome to the
the French thing.
to the police officer. Apparently in the French dub it said something different. It
said you're very seductive.
Yes. In French, the way that it translated was "you're very seductive," which is an interesting take on the line of "you're awesome." I'm not quite sure that that's a direct translation.
It's the best translation it could be, though.
Yes.
I think the French have got a little bit of a high hope thing going on there.
Yes. Well, I mean, France is... there's also a different of culture there. I mean, it's more normal to, you meet somebody and you give them a kiss on the cheek, whereas in America they'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
Stay away from me.
Okay, moving on. Supernatural did return much stronger for the premiere. We had 2.5 million viewers and a 1.2 rating among adults from 18 to 49, which is up 50% from the intro to season 8, which is really, really good. I feel like they're headed in a very good direction this season.
And not only that, but the second episode garnered even higher ratings.
Yeah.
That was tweeted by the Supernatural Wiki that it had gotten even higher ratings. So, woo!
Good.
We're doing good, people.
Yes.
We keep retweeting things.
And then, do you want to talk about the next one, or you want me to?
You can, because I don't know a thing about it.
Okay. So Jensen's family is fundraising for the Down Syndrome Guild of Dallas, in order to support Jensen's nephew Levi. The Down Syndrome Guild provides parent-to-parent support for families with new babies or children, other family members affected by Down syndrome. And they also provided them with resources available to help take care of a family member. We will have a link in the show notes to find out more about the Down Syndrome Guild and donate if you so choose.
And there will eventually be a page where all the links will be put up during the episode.
Our page right now is still currently heavily under construction. It will develop as time goes on, but we do have a amazing serviceable site so far up, which was created by the lovely Michael Wang, who we
also known as Vampire Wang.
Yes, who is also known as Vampire Wangs on Tumblr. All right.
Okay. Do you want me to take this one?
Sure.
Random Act's annual Endure for Kindness event is taking place the weekend of November 2nd and 3rd. So that's going to be fun, where you get to choose one 24-hour period during that weekend and do something for as long as physically possible.
Yes.
It can be anything from knitting, or gaming, or running, or swimming. But do it for as long as you can in exchange for donations. Misha will be running and or swimming. Again, the links for that will be in the show notes. Yes. More information can be found at a link that will also be in the show notes.
Yes.
All the links will be in the show notes, put it that way. You can donate, and we'll put a link there as well.
Are you doing E4K?
No, I'm not. I'm busy. I'm always busy during the weekend, always.
Yeah.
I mean, I could ask my work to give me, like, a ton of shifts that day.
Yeah. Work for as long as possible.
Work for as long as physically possible. I think I would die.
Yes. I'm not personally participating, but one of my friends is. Casey is. Casey's going to be running, I believe, all the way down, like, I want to say Hollywood Boulevard or Santa Monica Boulevard or one of those large boulevards in California, so I will be supporting her.
Woo! Is Pond participating in that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because she seemed really into the whole Random Acts Endure for Kindness thing. I know Cass is. Yeah, Casey is. So.
All right, and then last weekend we did have TorontoCon for those who are not used to the shortened version.
Yeah.
The Toronto Salute to Supernatural Convention.
Yeah, it was where Misha proved once again to the world why he is in fact the founder of Random Acts.
Yes.
Birthday girl!
Yes.
That is actually one of our friends.
Yes. He did bring a birthday cake for MK.
Yes, he did.
Which made her weekend. I'm very happy for her.
I think it probably made her life.
Yes.
She will never get over that, ever.
No.
I haven't even heard from her since that, to be honest.
Yes. I think that probably killed her.
She now knows, like, what her birthday is, her name, her job.
That's almost enough to steal her identity.
Yep. Thank God he won't.
Yes.
We also found out that Jared is a chronic ball fondler.
But apparently not to Mark. Apparently he just tells people that he does it to everyone just so he can have the chance to do it.
There will be a link to that video. Yes. There will be. We will put that link.
And then we kind of just, there were some interesting things we learned from TorCon. There was, the meet and greet. I believe it was during Jensen's meet and greet when he confirmed that We're Family was originally supposed to be the I Love You.
Yeah, it was. I think that was actually during it was during his meet and greet, yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting because it harks all the way back to when I was at Emerald City Comic Con in March. Mish made a joke about how they had just shot a scene where Jensen's character had said, I love you, and that it had been cut. And everyone's like, yeah, sure, Misha.
And then Jensen kind of said that we don't film scenes and then cut them.
Yeah. So
everyone was all like, yeah, Misha's taking the piss again, he's stirring shit.
Yeah, but Misha's trolling. And then,
but now it's been confirmed.
it got brought back a little bit when the episode actually happened. Everyone's like, ooh, I wonder if it was in there and it got cut. And then it got brought back a little bit again when we got the gag reel and we heard the him trying to say I love you
and failing epically.
Yeah. and everyone's like, oh, I wonder if it was actually, this is coming up a little bit too often. I wonder if it was actually in there. But it was interesting to see him actually confirm that there was an I love you in there. And
which means the original script said, I love you, we're family, I need you.
Yeah.
So that makes it even worse.
No, I love you, we need you, I need you. I believe. Because I believe that I love you replaced the we're family.
Yeah. Which made it worse. Which made everything worse. Which made it more painful.
Honestly, I don't believe that it was a good time for it.
It wasn't, no, because with what was going on in that episode,
yeah,
a lot of the anti-shippers and the tin hats, they would have probably come up with that he was just saying it to get out of shit.
Yeah, he was just saying it so he wouldn't kill him. It was that, and also he really hasn't said I love you to anybody, and I don't believe that's where he would start. Yeah,
I think Cass would probably not compute that as well, to be honest. Because he'd just been programmed to see all the things that Dean would not say.
Yeah.
And to kill them when they do something that Dean would not do.
Yes.
And Dean wouldn't say I love you, so he'd probably get him ganked.
Yeah. There's actually a funny comic about that on Tumblr. Like,
I know this.
Not Dean. If he says I love you, it's not Dean. So let's
do not compute.
Yes. All right. Next up. Do you want to take this one?
Yes, the random mini segment.
Yes.
The shipping news.
Yes.
Basically, Geek TV have done a small article on Destiel. Of course, the article itself basically describes a experiment that a Tumblr user did. But this experiment in particular was a survey across various different platforms. I remember spreading it myself across Twitter, across Facebook, just to get more people in on this.
Yeah.
And after they finished the survey, they did all these pie charts and graphs and all sorts and found out a lot of really interesting stuff. I mean, the article itself will be linked in the show notes just so you can have a look yourself. But this generally means that the ship itself is getting a ton of more attention.
Yeah.
It really is, because we've had the E! Online article where Misha was involved in that one.
Yeah. I mean, this is MTV, I feel like really within the since season 8, kind of the second half of season 8, we've really started to see, before the second half of season 8, Destiel was very much a fandom thing, and no one else really talked or knew about it. Now we're starting to see MTV, E! News, these major media outlets picking up on these.
It's getting really big.
Yeah, picking up. Well, they wouldn't be making a story on it if there wasn't something to be seen there.
Yeah. I mean, even casual viewers are starting to now pick up on it, which is amazing. Because, before it was, what are you looking at? Why are you seeing all this? No, we can't see it. But now season 8 has basically shoved it in their faces.
Yeah.
We're doing this. We can't take it back now.
Yeah.
They made us do this.
I mean, one like I have a couple of friends who originally did not ship Destiel at all, and like as we got through season 8, didn't necessarily start shipping it, but started to see why people shipped it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of posts on Tumblr about how people that don't even watch the show ship it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, really? You don't even watch it?
Yeah.
Watch the show and then start shipping it.
Yeah. All right, and then... Sorry, go ahead.
An interview with Misha
yes.
About Cass in season 9 gave us a line about how apparently Jeremy Carver has told Misha that he was acting Cass out like a jilted lover.
Which is very interesting.
Which is adorable.
Yeah. I think we may have seen the beginnings of this actually on Tumblr, with everyone making the jokes about, you know, Dean having a nickname for Ezekiel and everything like that. That look, Dean's got a different angel in his pocket, and it's not you. Like I'm starting to wonder if it's something to do with that.
Yeah, all the jealousy.
Because I mean, we really. I mean, I'm trying to think back far enough. We really did not. I mean, we saw Dean with her name is escaping me right now, but
Ellie.
Yes, we saw Dean with Ellie, but it wasn't really romantic. Like it was not really intended to be a romantic.
It wasn't. No, I've noticed this. I've noticed a theme with Dean lately.
Yeah, we have not seen Dean with a woman or with any kind of like romantic interest in.
I think that
since Lisa,
Dean's looking more for a connection now. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, because he had Lisa, and there was a small connection there, but it was nothing serious. It was like nothing permanent. I mean, she wasn't part of the life, and she could never be part of the life.
I don't think he could ever leave he tried to leave the life, but he couldn't.
He obviously couldn't. I mean, he was seeing things were coming after him.
Well, that was because he was poisoned.
I know, but like I said, things were coming after him.
Yeah.
Just because he killed something in the past. Everything was going to come after him eventually. He couldn't escape it. He's a hunter.
Yeah.
But I think now Dean's looking for a certain connection and not a random casual lay.
Yeah.
I mean, because Ellie, she propositioned him pretty forwardly.
Yeah.
And Ellie herself was a strong woman. She was tough. She was pretty cute. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
And she was dancing to really provocative music in a really revealing top. Mm. This girl was basically a Dean type.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't do anything because it was really forward, and I'm pretty sure Dean's looking for a connection now.
Yeah. I feel like that is more of the case. Like he's looking for more of a emotional connection now.
Yeah, and excuse my shipper goggles, but who does he have that more with?
Yeah.
5 years, baby, 5 years.
Yeah.
All
right.
Apparently, Cass will find an occasional ally while he's on his own.
Yes, which is interesting. So hopefully sometime soon we will see an angel who actually likes Cass, besides Ezekiel, like an angel.
Yeah. An angel who doesn't want to kill Cass.
Yes. They're like, oh, great, we have April. Just kidding. She's going to try to kill him.
I mean, because that one magazine or whatever website mentioned that April was a love interest.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, really? Is that a common theme with Cass's love interest stabbing him in the chest?
Yeah, I do have to give. I do have to give the PR team and all the production team and everything, a big round of applause for the best bait and switch I've ever seen in Supernatural history, because like in the promo it hands it to you as, oh, she's going to take him out of the rain and clean him up and be his love interest, and they're going to kiss and it's going to be all romantic, and then they release the promo pictures and she's stabbing him in the chest.
Suddenly Angel.
Alright.
Oh, we have some big decisions about whether or not to join a war or run away from it.
Yes.
I think he should probably run away from it.
For the time being, until he figures out who he is, how this whole human thing works, I feel like he should stay out of the crossfire.
Yeah, he's not strong enough to deal with a war. I mean, and every time he does try and deal with a war, he ends up screwing it up somehow. I think Cass should stay away.
Yeah, right. We already did talk about a little bit how he was a liability because he is such a beacon for everybody. But so our news segment is running a little bit long. We're running about 40 minutes now. So I'm going to close up the news segment, and then we're going to come back in a few minutes and talk about our reactions to episode 1 and 2. And we are back to talk about our episode reactions for the first and second episode. We managed to, in the meantime, find ourselves another host.
Hello, I'm Pond. I was in a coma. I apologize.
Yay, we found Pond.
Yes. All right. So the first thing we wanted to do was like talk about Hale's character and like encourage people not to wank on her, because I mean she's really at the core of like what her motivations are, not that different from Ezekiel.
Yeah, and
they're really not.
And what I noticed was that the only person that could really help her tried to abandon her. I mean, like, she really needed Cass's help, and he just decided, nope, I'm going off because my boyfriend said so.
Yeah, I don't think she would have had the same reaction if he hadn't tried to abandon her just then.
Yeah, probably not.
Because she seemed to be on board with just trying to get through having to be here, and then suddenly he was going to leave her, and she was like, wait, what? No, I need you. Help.
Don't leave me.
Honestly, like,
And then she turned into stalker ex-girlfriend. No, you can't leave me.
I don't think the fandom would have had a big of reaction if it hadn't have been Cass that she wanted to, like, possess. Like, if it had been anybody else, I don't think anybody would have cared. But because it was Cass, nobody wanted her to possess Cass.
Yeah, he's our baby.
Which is interesting, because I think that it taught Cass a little bit about, like, what she wanted to do with him was basically what he did to Jimmy. Like,
yeah,
I think it was kind of a little bit of an eye-opener for him in terms of possession and taking away people's free will.
I'm so not over Jimmy.
Obviously, there's nothing...
I'm never going to be over Jimmy Novak. Ever.
Obviously, there's nothing he can do about Jimmy now, but I think it kind of opened his eyes a little bit as to, yes, you have a vessel, but you're also taking away someone else's free will. For someone who's all about free will.
I think it kind of opened Cass's eyes to how vulnerable he is now.
Yeah.
Because he is now a usable vessel.
Yes.
A very tough, strong vessel.
All right. And then the next thing we want to talk about was kind of Cass's reactions to being human and how we think he's going to develop over, like, the next couple episodes. So we saw in the first episode, like, he knows what it takes to be human. Like, he knows he needs water and he needs to eat to survive, and he knows he only has a limited amount of money, and he has to make, you know, the choice of, you know, water over, you know, washing his clothes. But he's not 100% logical about how he goes about getting things. Like, there was probably a sink there somewhere in the laundromat. He probably could have gotten the water out of the sink and not spent money on bottled water.
That's true.
So he knows what he needs, but he still needs to learn the best way to go about them.
Yeah, which he will learn because of the whole homeless camps and everything like that. I think he's going to learn a bit more about how to be homeless and how to survive on the streets with that, because he's been seen in a food drive and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think he'll be fine. To be honest, he's a tough warrior.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I foresee a whole lot of glorious face palming on Dean's part coming up.
Yeah.
When Cass goes to attempt to do something, and Dean's just like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun to watch. Like, he has all this theoretical knowledge, and anyone who's in any sort of hands-on type of, like, I'm in nursing, I have tons of theoretical knowledge, but when I go out to do it, I'm kind of like a fish out of water with bright, shining eyes, like, what the hell am I doing right now? Someone help me. Direct me. Which I think, I mean, he's got all of this knowledge. He's been watching humans for how many years, but do you think he's really watching them do menial tasks like brush their teeth? He knows it requires toothpaste. He knows that you need to put it in your mouth, but he's not quite sure how to get it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that gif, and it's kind of adorable.
And then we see Cass eating paste. It's great.
Everyone's like, he's not stupid. He's really not stupid. I mean, he understands, like, the quantum superpositioning they used with Naomi and everything. Like, he is not stupid, but yeah, I don't think it ever occurred to him to literally sit down and watch someone brush their teeth.
I think I understand with Cass. He's a strategist.
Yeah.
He doesn't get menial tasks. What he is he thinks strategically. He doesn't think tiny things that don't really matter.
He thinks,
he's a big picture, which is why we see him get so screwed on the details throughout so many seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't think little details. He thinks big.
Yeah. And so my teeth need to be brushed. I don't know how, but my teeth need to be brushed.
Because I'm getting a very ranky taste right now.
I mean, we only saw him put the toothpaste in his mouth. He might have a toothbrush there. He probably just didn't know that you put the paste on the brush and then on your teeth.
Yeah,
I think that's
paste on your teeth and then brush it.
Yeah, there is one like leaning on the
goes.
sink. There's a toothbrush leaning on the sink. Like, he's got the tools. He just put the paste in the wrong place. I mean, I guess the toothpaste is headed there anyways, but you probably don't need quite that much.
Yeah. Someone did that on Tumblr, didn't they? Extreme clean. At least he'll have fresh breath.
Yeah. All right. And then we also want to talk about, like, Sam's different versions of himself and kind of what he saw in that coma world, because I thought it was very interesting that Bobby was the side of Sam that he thought that Bobby was the side of him that wanted to die, and it makes sense on the kind of surface because Bobby is dead. But I thought it was kind of interesting considering the last time we saw Bobby in season 8, he was kind of itching to come back and itching to get back in the game and everything like that. Like, he did not want to be dead. And so I thought it was interesting that they chose him as the person for Sam's part of himself that wants to die, that maybe that wasn't all that was going on.
Yeah. I think it kind of tied in with the whole death not actually being there.
Mm-hmm.
With that Bobby thing, because Bobby led him to that shack where death wasn't actually there.
Yeah.
And that we know of.
Apparently Julian Richings did say that it wasn't actually death as death, it was more Sam's creation of death. Which is really interesting and really sad, because that means Sam needed validation that what he'd done from his time beginning from a hunter to that moment, that what he'd done actually made a difference.
And he needed validation from somebody that wasn't Dean or Bobby.
Yeah. So he chose death.
Oh, well, you know what? I would accept that. Personally, I would be pretty stoked if Death was like, you know what, you did something, and it's an honor to come get you.
I think that kind of tied in with the fact that Sam had a plan. That why Dean kept coming back, his version of Dean kept coming back to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That Sam actually had a plan to survive this.
Yeah.
And that was Death explained to him that what he did actually made a difference.
Yeah.
And that's what gave him the strength to say, yeah, I'm surviving this. Fuck this noise, I'm going.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we also want to talk about so Dean is a little bit indebted to Ezekiel because Zeke is healing Sam. I'm wondering if there's more that he has to do to kind of pay Zeke back, or whether the kind of like symbiotic relationship that Zeke has with Sam now, if that is the kind of fulfillment of that debt, that like because Zeke is protecting Sam and Sam is protecting Zeke.
I think it's the symbiosis, because honestly, Ezekiel needs a vessel in order to heal just as much as Sam needs Ezekiel there.
Mm-hmm.
And and he said everything that Sam knows, I know. So he has seen how much Dean has gone through for Sam, for the Angels, for everyone. Like, he is everything that Sam has ever seen or thought or known, Ezekiel now knows. So he just got this whole new insight into what these two have been through.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going, unless he's evil, which obviously, I mean, it's supernatural. Who the hell knows anymore? So unless he's evil, I think that he could really be an asset to them. Kind of like, he's not all powerful. He's not as powerful as Cass once was. Mm-hmm. But he could be a little bit of a helping hand, but I don't think he's going to remain as present as Cass. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to stick by them through thick and thin. He might go off and he might pop in once in a while if they need him.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be their easy button, which is what they're trying to get rid of when they made Cass fall.
Yeah. Mm. Jen had a really interesting theory earlier about how, Zeke was one of the only angels that we
the
saw
only
was hurt.
Angel.
Yeah.
I think that I mentioned that Zeke seems to be the only one with wings.
That we know of, yeah. I mean, he can't teleport yet.
The thing is, with Zeke, unlike all the other angels that showed up, as I mentioned earlier, Zeke was wounded, whereas the other angels seem to be pretty well off. They seem to be pretty healthy.
Pissed, but healthy.
Pissed, yeah, but really healthy, despite the fact that they just had their wings amputated. Which actually is really interesting, because an amputated limb will stop hurting. It will. You'll get phantom itches every now and then. You'll get a few nerve endings that have been cut off kind of playing up, but it won't cause you any major damage. But a limb that's still attached, that's mangled and still attached, that will cause severe pain, because you've got mangled nerve endings, you've got burnt flesh, you've got ripped muscle. All of that will cause you great pain. And I think the fact that Zeke was wounded and not perfectly fine, like all the others, I think that's a clear clue to the fact that Zeke is the only one with wings.
Yeah, because we did see those wings detach from that one that fell.
Exactly. Yeah. All the other angels seem to have had their wings burnt off by the fall. Completely amputated.
Which makes us wonder, how did Zeke get so lucky?
I know, I think he might have been on Earth already, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like, if there were other angels on Earth, did they, like, get burned, or, like, are they fine because they only cast them out of heaven? Like, are there angels out there that are fine because they happen to be on Earth when the spell went down?
Possible. I mean, they did say that most of the angels were upstairs fighting each other, so
yeah,
it's a wonder how many were actually on Earth at the time.
Probably hiding out in little caves.
Yeah, maybe.
And now they're like, crap, how do I get out of this cave?
Yeah.
I flew here. This is in the middle of the ocean.
Help!
Alright. And then we also kind of want to talk about, like, what powers some of them still have. So obviously, if those angels were, like, obviously those angels were turning up for Dean because they thought he might know where Cass was. But I'm assuming, like, they'd want to do some kind of deal. Like, whether they actually still had like healing abilities, or whether they just showed up because they thought he knew where Cass was.
I think Zeke did say that he still had healing powers. He could still heal. I think it's just the lack of wings, to be honest.
Well, I mean, like the tractor angel and the and the health the counseling angel and the guy that got to Dean right before Z, like whether they had healing powers or whether they just came because hey, he knows where Cass is.
Maybe, who knows?
Obviously, they still have to some extent like their super strength.
They still have Angel Radio.
The way it sounded when they were talking about it before the season started was that the Angels have all of their powers, they just don't have their wings, so they can no longer teleport. Okay. So they're grounded. So they're Angels, but they're grounded. Which makes sense if you think about, like, you know, Lucifer. He had a ton of power, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I don't actually recall seeing him teleport either.
Yeah, he did. Well, when he was in Sam, he did. Like when he first got into, well, I don't remember entirely what all.
I don't remember specifically if we ever actually saw him teleport or if we just cutscene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did. It was just cutscene, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, when he took over Sam, he did the whole Sam's gone, sucks to be you. And then he disappeared.
Maybe it was the vessel.
It could have been the vessel.
Yeah.
His true vessel.
Like, Sam's a pretty powerful vessel.
Did we ever actually... I'm trying to think about that now. Did we ever actually see him teleport while he was in Nick?
How did he get from place to place if he didn't teleport? I mean, I can't really see Lucifer going on a bike. or in a car.
Maybe his teleportation came from being in hell and that whole, you know what I mean? Because the demons get teleportation powers too, but they were human souls.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something to do with the demonic influence that causes him to be able to teleport as an angel without wings.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Lucifer was always the one that influenced the demonic activity. I don't think he actually had any influenced onto him. But from what I can see. From what I know, Lucifer did not do the whole travel in cars and stuff like that. Because he did ask Cass, like, what was it like driving there?
That's true.
he seemed a bit about driving. So I think Lucifer could teleport.
I still can't get over Lucifer telling Cass he's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Mac Daddy of evil.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a bit weird, dude.
Alright, the next thing I want to talk about was, so, like, obviously it was Sam's interpretation of death, but the interesting moment where he talks about how he could guarantee him being dead, and, like, whether there is a dead versus a really dead, because, like, Bobby, for example, is, I hate to say it, like, it seems really dead, whereas, like, or like, Mary is really dead. Or, like, John is really dead. Like, is there a dead?
You think it has something to do with the fact that they no longer have vessels to come back to?
Yeah.
I think
because Dean was able to be restored because Sam didn't burn his body. He buried him.
Well, actually, I think Cass could have probably fixed that one.
He probably could have. He probably could have as long as he knew where it was. But, I mean, Mary, she was obliterated.
Well, I mean, like, Dean was pretty bad off in sense of, like, how torn up he was.
Yeah.
But it was still a vessel that he could put the soul back into and heal the vessel.
That's true.
I think the thing about the really dead is, like, when a ghost gets salted and burned.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they did burn their bodies.
Yeah, that's
I'm assuming that's salted.
Yeah.
I think the only ones that could have brought him back would have been the angels in that sense. So I think dead versus really dead is the salt and burn, dead's just dead.
Yeah.
But I don't think that death could actually guarantee that it was permanent, because an angel could bring him back.
Yeah.
If he could guarantee that death was permanent, he'd have Dean already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know how many times he's come for that. Dean's a unicorn.
I think that whole thing was just Sam trying to make sure that nobody else would get hurt because of him.
Yeah.
He needed to hear that there is no way he could be brought back, that nobody could get hurt from this.
Yeah.
And he just needed Death to say it when Death really couldn't actually say it.
Yeah. And then we also want to talk about so even in the one episode we've seen Cass in so far, we've seen more range in Cass's like emotions in one episode than like when he's sitting there talking to Hale about the Grand Canyon. I'm just sitting here like, I've never seen you express as much emotion.
You're so adorable. You're such a nice big brother.
I think it's going to be interesting to see him. And I actually like wrote a whole long like meta post about like, especially this. Everyone's kind of saying, he's going to find a love interest in this season. Like, I think, and everyone's talking about like Meg and everything like that. That he understands the physical part of like lust and everything, and he understands like having an emotional connection with someone, but I don't think he has quite made the bridge between those two things, and I think that he will now start to make those bridge between those two things as a human, and he starts feeling these kind of influence of hormones and everything, like we saw in the release pictures from 903, like him like walking past a prostitute, and he's not affected. He is affected by like seeing the prostitute like walk by him, and like that hormones will now and these kind of like more human emotions will start to bridge the gap between having an emotional relationship with someone and having a physical relationship with someone. Because I feel like especially with Meg, like Cass understood what a physical relationship with her was, and like we saw after the end of season 7, like he had an emotional relationship with her because she took care of him, but I don't think he ever made the bridge gap between those two things.
Yeah, I think that was mostly separated by his mental state.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so, even when we saw them together again in Goodbye Stranger. Like,
it was different.
Yeah.
He was also under mind control at the time, so who knows what he was actually thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll probably never know that one. But the interesting thing is seeing Cass with human emotions now, because everyone's saying, oh, but he's done this and he's done that. I'm like, yeah, as an angel.
Yeah.
Not as a human.
Yeah.
Obviously, the two are very, very different, because he's feeling, like with the pain thing, like he's really shocked at how much getting stabbed hurts. Mm-hmm. He's been stabbed as an angel in a vessel. He gets kind of, these phantom feelings, like he understands that it's painful and that it hurts. Obviously, we've seen him express pain before, but as an angel with an angelic tolerance for pain, he's a human now.
Yeah.
He's feeling pain the same way we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're no longer going to be able to dig a bullet out of your stomach. And...
that will kill you.
Or have a tablet ripped out of your stomach.
Yeah.
So
it's like, oh, I'm gonna dig around and find this bullet. No.
Nope, can't do that anymore.
I don't know.
I'm sure some people have done that. But the tablet thing, like, no, that's not gonna happen anymore. Yeah. There will be no more of that.
No more of that.
You can dig bullets out your own flesh, but it's difficult. Don't try it.
Do not
I will
try
take your word for it, dear.
All right. Do you guys want to pick up a couple of next points?
I want to pick that one up. The blatant fandom destruction over the gracious laundrette scene. I'm serious. The fandom imploded.
That was only put there in order to hurt us.
Yeah.
That was just here. Have that. That was insane.
Here, you haven't really gotten a whole lot of.
That was a bit of fan service. I mean, they could have.
That was definitely fan service.
They could have gotten that point across without him being naked.
But why would they want to?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would they want to? We need more gracious Misha shots.
And then
how about the
trying to kill us? Keeps taking his damn shirt off. He is trying.
Yeah.
He is trying to kill us. It is working.
Misha does seem to be taking his shirt off a lot more recently.
Yes. Agreed.
I think he's trying to show off his new muscles that he's probably worked on for this season.
It's like
I'm pretty sure he got from training for Endure for Kindness because he's been swimming a lot.
But before this, we had the ER stuff, and we had 24, and like you saw the same 3 pictures of him shirtless over and over, and then within 2 months, he rips off his shirt for the Endure for Kindness thing, and then strips down for episode 1, and also apparently strips down for episode 3.
The fandom is just doomed. We're doomed.
Alright, and then of course our lovely, beautiful Tractor Angel.
That Tractor Angel is still on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Still trucking away.
I don't think it was the producer's intention for us to get so attached to him.
I don't think it was. I like how people haven't noticed that he did actually make it to New York.
Yeah.
He made it to that hospital.
There, before quite a few other people probably did.
He followed his dreams.
I don't think the producers realize a whole lot about what Tumblr will get attached to, honestly.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It just became it became a meme so quickly.
Yeah.
And then, incredible.
They're really all the things we put in this episode, and that's what you come away with?
Yeah.
Tractor Angel.
And then I don't know. It doesn't seem like it so far. We haven't heard anything. Tomo did a really good job as Ezekiel. I don't know if he'll be returning as Ezekiel.
I don't think he will be. I haven't heard anything about that, but
yeah,
he did an amazing job. I loved the way he portrayed Ezekiel.
Yeah.
So
there's always the possibility if the fans are really into him.
Yeah.
Maybe he could
he comes back.
Maybe Ezekiel could go back into that vessel.
Yeah.
When he's done with Sam.
Yeah. I just thought it was really interesting that he had kind of prepared his idea of Ezekiel, and Jared had prepared and done his because they shot episode 2 before they shot episode 1, so Jared had already acted as Ezekiel before Tama did, and so I thought it was interesting that they had come up with the same kind of ideas for Ezekiel.
It's the same mind meld that we had in season 5 when Jared was acting as Mark Pellegrino's Lucifer.
Mm.
Oh, that was amazing. That was.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How do these boys not have Emmys? Damn it.
And then
I don't know. They're amazing. We need more awards for the boys.
Yes.
And then we want to talk about episode 2 as well.
Yes, we do, because we need to cover that too.
Yes. One of the things that fandom is very good on picking up on things that I do not realize when I watch the show. Like, for example, the shot of the demon reviving Abaddon, and right as he's reviving Abaddon, it cuts away to Dean laying on the table, in a very interesting, I would say prone, but on his back, kind of with
very
his
submissive
arms,
sort of way.
With his arms crossed over him, that someone kind of noticed that it could be foreshadowing something that's typically kind of a position you put people in when they're dead, and so I would never have picked up on that, but the fandom just picks up on these interesting little things that oh, that's a really interesting thing to think about. That could be some kind of foreshadowing.
And as we saw, that Abaddon did get Dean later on, didn't she?
Yeah. I thought it was another thing that, again, I didn't pick up on that other people did, that like when she's talking to him about what it would be like to possess him, that he's thinking about all that time that he spent torturing people in hell.
I noticed that one.
And I hadn't noticed that when I was watching, and I didn't notice it until I read it, that, oh my god, like, I didn't even think about that, like, it's actually tempting him instead of being necessarily scary. And then I think everybody was surprised to see wings.
Wings!
Yay, wings!
That was
we thought we weren't going to get to see those anymore. And then there they were.
I'm still in love with the wings. I am. I love the wings.
I have an
unhealthy fondness for
visual effects. The entire visual effects department, kudos for that one. The
Supernatural Wiki tweeted a picture of all the equipment that goes lightings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's immense. There's so much there. Dude, so many wires and stuff. Well done.
I thought it was all done like post-production.
No, they've got like a ton of lights and all sorts. I mean, I remember in a gag reel, I think it was when Dean sort of got his ass kicked by Cass. Mm-hmm. You know, that just before he'd slammed him and poofed him away.
Yeah.
That right there, that was all done with lighting and all that. Like, there was no post-production on that, except for making him poof away.
Yeah. Oh, I remember there was like a point in like, I think it was like season 5 gag reel where you see like Cass start lighting up or whatever. Like I thought there like might be some, but like the shadows are done in post-production.
Shadows are done in post-production, okay. Yeah, but the most of the lighting comes from like bulbs in his coat and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think we saw that with the God thing as well, when he like glows when he's God. That was all lighting done.
Yeah, that was lighting, and with added a bit of post production on that as well.
Yeah.
To make it shimmer.
Yeah.
Shimmer.
Was there anything else we want to talk about 902?
Can we talk about Kevin Tran?
Yes, we can talk about
Kevin
Tran.
We can. Talk
because
about Kevin.
That was incredible acting and just an incredibly touching scene.
Yeah,
I think we all just kind of spammed odds with that one.
I screeched, and I minimized, and I got on League and was like, "Oh my god, dude, really?"
Yeah.
How many times is he on League? Seriously?
A lot, actually. No, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go catch up on this episode now because it's like 3 a.m. I've not caught up on it yet because I was in class until like midnight. And I come back from the episode, I'm like, holy crap, dude. Amazing job.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo. One perfect tier, he's mastered it.
Yes. That I'm just...
And then we talked about how we really both hope Mama Tran is not dead. I love Lauren. I love her. I really want her to come back.
I would love to see her come back. She was so awesome.
Yeah, she was pretty awesome. But as Dean said, if she is alive, then she is probably dead in all ways that matter.
See, but who really knows? Who knows if Crowley ever even got to her to begin with, or if he was just using that against Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
We never saw it. He said that he got the address off of her phone, but how do we know that's really true? He could have just tailed one of the boys there.
Mm-hmm. True.
So we don't really know for sure that he ever even encountered her again.
Yeah.
She's crafty. She's careful. Yeah. Especially after the whole witch thing. She's super careful. I don't think she would have let them get anywhere near her.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I guess we will see.
I hope we'll see anyway, because...
I hope we'll see. I really hope we'll see.
We had like a ton of unresolved storyline for Jimmy up until this season where we found out that he was in fact dead.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get that with Linda, because he's sad.
Yeah.
It's like, is she a isn't she? And then we find out she is, and I'm like, yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything else we should talk about 902. I thought for sure, like, as the episode was happening, I realized after the fact that it was too soon for Sam to figure out that Ezekiel was there, but I thought for sure, like, the reason that like, he was going to figure out who's there. Is like he was going to get shot by one of those guys with the snipers and not die, and that was how he was going to figure it out. Unfortunately, we did have to end the discussion there. There was a software problem going on with my computer, which will be fixed before next week's episode, but unfortunately meant that we ran out of time to finish discussing episode 2. In our next episode, we are also going to cover fandom news. We're going to cover episode reactions for 903, which is I'm No Angel, and 904, which is Slumber Party. We will also have a mailbag, so if there's a theory that you want us to discuss, you can submit it via our Tumblr Ask, which is at audinospodcast.tumblr.com/ask. And we are going to take people's questions and theories and discuss them and basically give our listeners a voice on the show. We're also going to have a lore segment about Ezekiel and all of the Judeo-Christian lore that surrounds him and how that relates to the show. Also, keep a lookout for promo material and trailers. Sebastian Roche has a new movie coming out called Whir, and it'll be out November 16th, so keep an eye out for that. While we're starting out, episodes are going to be about every 2 weeks. If we see an interest for a weekly episode, we'll talk about doing that. But for now, episodes will be out every 2 weeks, and they will also be published on our Tumblr page. Hoping you all have a great rest of your week and a good episode tomorrow. Bye!